Welcome back to MurrayMax. We have a video now from the Officer Tatum. He goes to the UC Davis campus and has a little interaction with some of the students there. And if it's got UC in front of the school name, then you can only imagine and assume what the exchange is going to be like. So as usual, I haven't watched this yet. I'm excited for this one because you get different videos and different conversation styles and debate methods with every different person that you watch. You know, if I wanted to get like some very well and calmly presented arguments about historical accuracies and things like that, I would probably watch a Michael Knowles video. If I want to see someone debate politics, not really in a dramatic way, but like with a lot of information, I'll watch Charlie Kirk. If I'm going to watch somebody who's going to be kind of a towering presence and actually mixing it up and like standing in the crowd with people and exchanging, then this is exactly what I'm going to look for. The Officer Tatum, I've actually met him before. He's a great guy. But yeah, let's take a look here. Feel free to comment what you think of it.
And get you some supplements today.
I have a quick question. Right. You mentioned
I got about 5 more minutes. Go ahead.
And you founded Blexit with Candace Owens, who claims that Judaism is a religion based on pedophilia, and she also loves Hitler. So I want to know, do you love Hitler as much as her, or do you have a more nuanced stance? Because she thinks that
right off the bat, this guy is engaging in bad faith. He's gonna make up a false claim and then force him to answer by acknowledging and validating his false claim.
There's a Jewish cabal that does pedophilic acts. So
I would take you more seriously if you stay to a true argument. Do she have things to say about Jews that maybe I disagree with? Yes. But does she love Hitler is insane. She love Hitler is insane.
She says that, well, she likes Hitler's
No, you said she loved Hitler.
She loves Hitler's domestic policy. Argument. No, I mean, you can say you love Lyndon B. Johnson because of his domestic policy, but not because of the Vietnam War. She says she loves her domestic policy.
I know Candace personally. She did not like Hitler. Okay?
What about how Stalin and Lenin are part of a Jewish cabal? How about that? Is that like...
That's her opinion.
That's her opinion. So how do you feel about that opinion? Is Stalin part of the Jewish cabal, a person who killed, my relatives? Right? Is that?
Can you let me speak? Look, I have no idea exactly what her arguments are, so I can't speak to her arguments.
But you're
I just
in
know what I
business
think.
with her. You're in business with her. You talk to her. You retweet her.
But I don't listen to everything she say.
So you don't know that she got let go from the Daily Wire because of her So you never asked her.
She didn't get let go of Daily Wire because of anti-Semitism. She got rid of. They fired her because she disagreed with Ben Shapiro, and he didn't like that. That's why she got let go from his company.
About what? About what?
I don't know. Whatever.
You don't know.
I don't know specifically, but it probably has something to do with Jews. Okay, let's move on.
It's about Judaism. No, but
let me explain how. Let me explain my
Is Judaism a pedophilic religion? Is
I don't believe that.
Okay.
I don't believe that.
Then why are you in business with someone who does?
Because people can't have their own opinion. Who are you to tell me who I should do business with because you're offended by what somebody else said?
I'm not.
That's the point. That's the thing.
No, but
are you Jewish?
Yeah, partially.
This is the thing that I think people got to start backing off of, okay? I am the biggest proponent of the Jews out of probably anybody in the conservative movement.
Except
I've been to Israel.
No.
I've been to Israel. I love Jews. I mean, you name it. You can listen to my stuff.
Going to Israel doesn't mean you love Jews.
But I do.
That's a different.
But I do.
That's whole. No, maybe.
No. But I do. I'm giving you an explanation
of
things that I've done. But I do. You can't tell me. Go look at anything that I've ever posted. Now, let's move on. Somebody can have an opinion. Candace can have an opinion that's different than mine. Does that mean that I can't talk to her because she have a different opinion? That's not how things work. When you're somebody's friend, that's not how it works. Me and her can have a dialogue and a conversation together about these things we disagree with. That don't mean I'm going to stop being her friend because we disagree on things.
But you claim you don't even know about it.
I don't know specifically.
No,
let me finish. I don't know specifically everything she says. I don't listen to everything she says.
Like, let's be real here. If you have a job and a career the way that like the Officer Tatum or Candace Owens or anybody else does, you're constantly consuming other people's content, and these people that you're consuming their content, they're pumping out lots of content every single week. There's no way that you could possibly take in everybody's content all the time, every week. Even people who are really informed on things, there's still a lot of things that they miss because it's just not possible. There's not enough hours in the day. And if there were more hours in the day, they'd put out even more content.
Look it up.
Won't you look it up? And you have a disagreement about what she says. I don't have a problem with Candace.
You don't have a problem?
I don't have a problem with Candace. She's my friend.
How about how she said that, Freudian psychology
That's
claims...
on her.
No. How she claims it's because in Kabbalah
that's how she feels.
that raping
But that's how she feels.
little
That don't
girls
mean
is
I
part
feel
of
that
the
way.
religion. Really.
That's how she feels. That don't mean I feel that way.
But you are in business with.
What does that got to do with it?
What it has to
She has
do with
she's
is that
entitled to her own
that's
opinion.
how you begin normalizing anti-Semitism, genocide, and that's what you're after when it comes to the trans
Not
issue
true.
too. No, because you're using sports as the
So we cancel each other out.
Start,
You're saying that
Can
Candace
I
and I,
finish?
Candace
You're
and I,
interrupting me.
Candace and I
You're
cancel each
interrupting
other
me.
out.
Oh, now this guy's calling Tatum out for interruptions. That's amazing.
No, let me say that
Candace and I
this is a
cancels each other
broader
out.
problem.
Is that
No,
right?
it's a broader problem. Is that you're
not
using
true.
the trans issue of sports, something that affects literally, I think it's dozens of athletes in the United States. A minuscule.
Does it affect
You're
athletes?
using
Yes.
it as a fulcrum to start marginalizing them
No, it's
because
not.
you're saying, look, it's men invading women's spaces.
Let's pretend that the trans athlete issue only affected 5 people. Let's say that it were a fact that only 5, high school or collegiate girls had been affected by it. The reason it's important is because so many people champion it that just like everything else, it starts with 5 people, and then it's 50 people, and then it's 500 people, and then it's 5,000 people, etc., etc.
You're framing it as that
Which is
issue,
true.
and then but then it's about projecting that to the
No, it's
whole
not.
thing.
No,
Yes,
it's
it
not.
is. That
That's
is
what
where
you
it
believe.
begins, and then it starts escalating.
Good
No,
for you,
that
that's
is
what
what
you
it does.
believe. That's
And you
not true.
associate with someone who likes Hitler, who.
She don't like Hitler. You just lied.
Oh no, she does.
I dare you to go on television and say that, and see how bad you get sued. She don't like
Get
Hitler.
sued.
She never
Get
has.
sued. She loves his domestic policy. She loves his domestic
What does that got to do with me?
What it has to do with is that you're part of a right wing which is increasingly normalizing what is going to be the words of genocide. It's what you're
Trump?
doing.
The
Yes.
right wing?
Yes.
The biggest Jew lovers in American history are conservatives.
Not everyone in that administration.
Everybody don't agree. But the president is a big Jew supporter. Netanyahu loves
He's
him.
a Zionist. That isn't a Jew supporter. He's a Zionist.
What is
That's
Zionism?
Okay, Zionism.
No, I'm not asking you.
It's a
Go ahead.
No,
Hey, but
I'm not asking
I'm
you.
not.
Go ahead.
I'm not going to define Zionism. I'm going to distinguish Zionism from supporting Jews. You can have an approach where you say, "I like what the Jews are doing," or the Jews. Well, I
believes
like
that
what
they-
Israelis are doing in the Middle East for my.
He believes that the
ends.
Jews deserve to have independence in their own state.
That's what he says he believes.
I
Yeah.
believe the same thing. So we're all on the same page.
You believe.
What's the difference? I believe that Jews deserve that land. I believe they're supposed to be there. It was prophesied that they'll be there. God has chosen certain Jews specifically to be there. And I think they deserve to have that land. We should
right.
fight for Israel to remain a state for Jews to be safe.
No, I don't need your soapbox. Listen,
What's
you're,
soapbox?
you're
You don't need
obviously-
nothing. Who are you
no,
to me?
You're not willing
Who are
to
you?
take.
Not even a Jew.
You're not willing to take accountability
You're not even a Jew.
for your associations with
You're not even a Jew.
anti-Semitism. So I don't need to talk.
Who are you to
You're
coach me?
completely ridiculous.
You act like you-
You're
you
a
act like you-
fucking fraud. That's what you are. You're a hack artist. I mean, what are you doing here? You think you're big time? You're a small time shit heel. That's what you're doing. You have this whole fucking setup where you're farming clips. You're farming this engagement because you get to hear in the crowd all this shouting and a crazy woman over there. But I know that in the edit room, you're going to say, look how these people are shutting down conservative voices on campus. That's your whole game. It's played out. It's been done for like
Thank
10
you for asking
years.
the question in my game. You playing in the game with me. You complicit.
You know what?
Oh, well, get out of here then.
You have no answers. You look
Because
ridiculous.
you just talking crazy. Nobody's listening to you.
Good talk. Disagree to disagree.
Yeah, it's cool.
Let's talk.
So, first of all, these arguments that come from the left where they try to pick out one aspect of something, I've heard Candace Owens clearly make the distinction between just because I think that a person did something that I agree with doesn't mean I agree with everything that they did. If you want to get technical, there's things that we still use that were created in Nazi Germany. The first operational helicopter was created. If you think the helicopters are good, that doesn't mean that you love Hitler. If you like Volkswagen, the Volkswagen Beetle, that's something that was commissioned by Nazi Germany. I'm sure there's other things too. There's some argument, people like to say that freeways were created by Nazi Germany, if you like the freeway, but there's enough to dispute that was originally from Nazi Germany. But there's this odd association with things. I mean, it's like someone could be terrible if Hitler created the cure for cancer thing that always comes up as an example, but really, if Hitler created a cure for cancer and we used it, it doesn't mean that you love Hitler. It means that like there's something that he did that was a good thing. No, if you want to make the argument that every single thing that everybody who's bad ever did was terrible and wrong, it's just an unintelligent argument. You know, we can say on one hand that, you know, Hitler did things that are bad, while also saying, hey, you know, helicopters are pretty cool. Like, it's just, it's silly.
We got like 5 more minutes.
I got you.
Last question.
I want to get a couple things straight about your particular message.
Last question and we're done. All you got to do is look at the guy who loses his mind.
All right, that guy crashed out, and he's just, you know, taking over the video. But guy is a total lunatic. He comes up in bad faith. He makes an argument trying to force Officer Tatum to validate his fake claim that Candace Owens loves Hitler. It's so dumb. Like, when someone does that from the get-go, I don't even know why Officer Tatum even bothered, because you just know from the first second, the first sentence, that they're not there to have a real conversation. And I'm glad that he just didn't play into it, and he just kind of like brushed it off. He didn't entertain it too much, and the guy, whoever he was, made himself look really dumb. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I'm going to keep pumping out these videos. Feel free to like and subscribe, share it, whatever, or don't. Have a good day.